Hello, how are you?
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for joining today.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. So let's get right into it. I believe it was last weekend you
Yeah,
guys organized the Black Business Walk.
yeah, the Black Business Walk.
Right. So how was it?
It was nice, man. It was a good turnout. And you know what's crazy even about that day? It was raining too.
Yeah.
So I just definitely want to also give a shout out to like all those that came, even with the weather, because it was in and out. Like the rain kept coming, but people still stood out there with their umbrellas just to hear what
Wow.
just to hear what people had to say. We marched. It was very informational. It not only was it was informational, everybody got to meet a lot of new people. For example, right now as we're speaking, I'm drinking. What I'm drinking is pure H2O. It's a black owned water brand, and that
Amazing.
yeah, pure H2O. It's a black owned water brand, and it's actually very good. It's pretty good. But I wouldn't have known that had it not been for this walk.
Oh,
So
really?
no, I didn't know about the brand until this walk, until we started setting up, the walk, and they became one of our sponsors. Fumi is the one that actually, and shout out to Fumi. Fumi is the one that actually knew of this brand, but it just needed to be the right type of event,
Right.
to be able to, and she sponsored. She gave us 10 cases of water, and I
Amazing.
pretty good. So since then, we've just been drinking it.
Amazing. Amazing. Shout out to you, Fumi, of course. That's
Yeah.
my
Shout out
girl.
to Fumi.
And
Fumi's in the building. I'm not, you know what? She's here, but she's not here. You know, seriously, like,
got it.
no, listen, one thing I definitely will say, it's like, it's great to have a team and let
Right.
alone a strong team. And also, and me saying that, a person like Fumi, like, even, I'll be very honest, like, she said, no, Manny, like, you got this interview, boom, this is how we're gonna, as far as just the branding and everything is concerned. So shout out to Fumi.
That's amazing. Amazing. That's my girl.
Yeah, yeah, she does.
Now.
She
That's
does.
amazing. So
Yeah.
what was the purpose of the walk?
The purpose of the walk, it's like where to start, because I'm like this because it's like
So much.
just how the idea came up in my head to even begin with.
Right.
Uh, I was just, for me, we needed the protest. We had a right to be angry and to be upset. And the amazing thing about it is the whole world got to see this. Not only did they get to see it, the whole world was behind us. In regards to the social injustices that goes on, and it's going to it's going to happen. Things like this happen everywhere. It's going to happen, right?
Right.
But what is the conversation in regards to moving forward? What's the next step? Like, because we can do this, we can protest, but how do we move forward from that? And for me, in my mind, I'm just like, we as a people, I feel like it starts with us. We as a people need to be able to come together. We as a people need to be able to share our wealth, share our resources amongst each other, build each other up. I think, we don't focus on that a lot. We don't focus on unity. And I think and we need to be able to build our Black capital. And sometimes it's just people not knowing who, like I said, prime example, I didn't even know there was a Black water brand. So just like, a Black water brand, or yes, hairstylists, or a lot of people nail techs, right? Or nails, we're used to, and this is I love my Asian people. I love, I love my Chinese, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
how many Black nail
You
people
know, I was thinking about that the other day. That'll be a very good business. No,
yeah.
seriously.
So, but there are people that do it. There are Black nail people. There are. It's just that we just don't know. So it was just more so like, yo, let's really like get everybody together. You know what I'm saying? Let's really, all these different businesses in all different genres of professions, let's get them together. That's why it was an invitation for creatives, entrepreneurs. So as I was saying, a hairstylist, a restaurant owner, a travel. Sometimes even when we're traveling, right? Most of the time we go to a travel and but there's travel people within your community that
Right.
can help you, that you have, you know, it's just these things that I feel. So I wanted to bring all these people together. Like that, at the end, I was so excited because I collected so many cards. And I actually was like, you know what? Let me push these brands that people don't know. Let me put it out there. And I was just putting all these brands that I didn't know about. Fumi called me the next day, like, yo, Manny, you know, there's a video production building, and it's like, this is a young girl that owns this business in Harlem. She's like, Manny, you know, we could probably do our podcast there and everything. She has a whole video production set up, and the deals are great.
Wow.
Didn't know that.
That's amazing.
So I just felt like we need to be able to come together and really market ourselves more, so people know about our businesses. Right. People know about you.
Right. Amazing. No, thank you so much for putting that together. Like I said, I really wanted to go, but I haven't had the strength to really go out there, honestly. Like, it's a mental thing.
No, I
not
get
even, you know.
What was amazing about our walk was peaceful. It was, you know, because in the agenda, what it was about, you know. So it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's a lot, but it's like, it was just feel good. And even afterwards, when we ended at Central Park North, which was the park, there's like a certain entrance for Central Park, so we ended there, and we had another sponsor besides the water brand. We had a Caribbean restaurant, and we had an African restaurant. So we had Caribbean Star, and we had Accra.
Accra, right? Yeah.
So us here, you know, there were people that also gave spoken word. You know, we had artists perform. The production company. Here's how amazing this is too. The production company that did the setup for that they were pro bono. Like, they were really, like, you know, they've been going, like, that's what I'm saying. It was beautiful to know how many different resources
coming together.
Collective.
Yeah.
That we have. So then, you know, the fact they brought the food, I mean, and this might sound funny. I was surprised when the Caribbean Star people, right? They came. It was jerk chicken, curry chicken, white rice. I think it was rice and peas too. But they had oxtail. Whoa. I'm gonna just say this. They brought
oxtail?
They brought a whole tray. Like, you know, because I'm saying this because, you know, oxtail is.
We know.
So I was surprised. I was like, yo, they even brought oxtail. I said, nah, this is just
next level.
And it was, and the whole, not only did they bring the food, but the whole family came. They were all there. So me just looking at all this, seeing this Accra restaurant, so the jollof, and it's like, so now you have so crazy symbolically, right? On the table, you have different cultures of food. So we had African and Caribbean food. How many times do we get to, you know what I'm saying? It's done. I'm not saying it's not done. It's done. But it's like when those times when we're able to show our unity and come together and how strong we can be. Having the water lady, the lady who's Nigerian, by the way.
Oh, she's Nigerian. Oh, wow.
So having the water lady, seeing the water lady having a conversation with the other company, the owners of the Caribbean Star Company, maybe something might happen.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, like, but this is what it's all about. This is exactly what we're trying to do.
No, that's really amazing. I'm very happy it was a success. No, seriously. I'm very happy about it. That's why I said, you know, I had to bring you on to just shed some light on it. And in terms of the other protests that's been happening, what's your take on that?
As I said in the beginning, when I started this conversation, those protests needed to happen. It did. Like, there, you know, there's different there's different protests for a lot of things. When a society, sometimes you need a wake up. So those things needed to happen. You know, like, this is it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how, even though, you know, we as a country, you need a certain system. You need a police system. But when it's out of hand like that, and it's continuous, and it keeps happening, and you keep getting away with it, it's like, all right, something needs to be done. So that's why I said, in the process of how this happens, I mean, It's normal riots. Even down, listen, even if you want to look at American history, how did America, it started with riots, it started with protests, the Boston Tea Party, all those things. It started with that.
Right.
You understand? So that needed to happen. Just like in this case, it needed to happen.
Right, right, right. So what do you think, besides the protests, because I know the protests have been going on now, since the murder of Judge Floyd, and now several others have been killed even throughout the protests, which is so alarming and
Like
shameful.
the girl,
Yes, the army girl.
the army girl, the other girl too that they found.
Toy,
Yeah,
and
I'm
yeah,
watching these. I'm just like,
yeah. It's very crazy. What do you think needs to happen besides the protests to bring about systemic change?
this goes back to the whole, even like the whole business, black business, and us being in certain positions.
Hmm.
A lot of times the people who make the rules and things like that, right? You have to
Right.
be in certain positions, right? And the majority of those people that are in these positions are white, right? We need to have more of our people in these positions that can make things happen for us. Because then this is why I say things and I stress, like, it starts with us. You know what I'm saying? We have to be that power.
Right.
We have to be that disciplined force, that power, that when things like this happen, we're on this side, this can't go down. But we have our things together. We have our system together. You know what I'm saying? If we can come together as a real collective, build this real black wealth. And what's beautiful about this time right now is we're starting to see it. We're starting to really see, as far as like our, black billionaires, right? It's not even it's not just about the wealth aspect. It's the motivation, right? It's the inspiration to see. Now we can see a person like, as crazy as he is, Kanye West, right? But hey, here's a guy, his brand. Everybody wants a pair of Yeezys. Everybody.
Right.
It's not just like how if somebody wants a Louis, if somebody wants Gucci and this and that, to be able to sit there and say, oh, like Kanye's brand is it's like a real,
Right.
like elite brand that it's hard, it's culture, but it's amazing to see it's one of our people doing it. So these are just examples. But imagine if we had a bunch of Kanye's that were like, we were not just one, we had 4 or 5 of black elite brands.
That's right. That's right.
So it is happening. I'm not saying it's not. It is happening, but I'm telling you, it starts with us really. Like I said, it starts with us. We build our. We need to really build our system.
Absolutely. I agree.
It's like this stop happening.
I agree. So I'm gonna divert a little bit. So Beyonce released I believe the trailer for her new film that's Disney.
I did see a clip of it briefly. Yes, I saw.
Right. I just watched the clip. Really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So a lot of people, she received some backlash for it because a lot of people felt like oftentimes some people in her position, they tend to take advantage of, the Africa aspect of things, or culture, basically like cultural vultures. What do you have to say about that? Because people
I know
in certain positions using their,
I can understand where people may come from, right? I can understand it. And like on a regular basis, right? On a regular day, do you really see her doing it or blah, blah, and this is what goes to my next thing. If you really, on the other end of things, right, you could say, why is Beyonce not doing anything? That's another thing. For the people that are also saying these things, on the other end, people could say, why is she not doing anything? Why is she in the position that she's in? Why is she not? So you could say that too. And here's another thing, just to give, and this is, I'm not the biggest Beyonce fan. I'm not. But I give credit where credit is due. The girl works hard, and the girl she does her research. Yo, even her dance team, like the group, those two guys from France, that's on her team. I'm just mentioning because they're dope, right? She picked people from all over the world to be a part of her team. And if you remember the song, what's that song? Who Run the World, girl?
Right.
If you remember the actual video, those were African dancers. And there was a like she's been. This is not all of a sudden recent. So she's been, and this is coming. I'm telling you, this is coming from. I'm not the biggest fan, but where credit is due. The last, come on, the last album. You know the album.
Right.
Come on, how many artists were put on?
Right.
You know, it was dope. She was collected. Yes, it's a business. Of course, she has a platform. So but give her also let's also get like, yo, she's showing love that many of these artists at the same time are not doing.
They're not, yeah.
There's a lot that's not doing anything. Absolutely. So, once again, I can understand where some people may be coming from saying that, but at the same time, what if she wasn't doing anything, period?
Right. And
another
thing too, you can compare that to, Kim Kardashian West, she's been helped,
and
I'm shocked.
But remember who she's also married to.
Right.
So you don't think he's saying X, Y, and Z and saying this and that to the point where the girl says, like, if you really, because Kim has a big name, but I think Kanye, like, she says it like he's the one that picks what I wear. He tells me what to wear. He picks what I wear. That's you know what I mean? So you don't think he's selling, like, they're having conversations and they're like, these are the things that's going on. All right, how can I help?
Right.
Sometimes it's also about people knowing. Sometimes when people don't know things and are not educated on certain things, how can they help something that they're not educated on? She's with somebody that he's from Chicago.
Chirac, like they call it. Right.
Come on.
Right.
Yes, it's crazy down there. But how many unfortunate things also happen to our Black people? I just saw the movie Michael B. Jordan. Just came out. I forgot the name of the movie. The movie with Michael B. Jordan and Jamie Foxx. Mm-hmm. And Jamie Foxx plays the role of a guy that was wrongfully accused of murder, Black, in a poor neighborhood, poor town. But the people in that neighborhood, the white people, because it was a white woman that was murdered, they were so angry, they needed to find somebody to pin it on. And here's Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx, I don't remember the gentleman. Jamie Foxx plays this role. He was just working. He minding his own business, wants to go home to his family. Picked up, and they put it on him. You know what I'm saying? And things like this are happening. So if there's somebody, luckily Michael B. Jordan came as the lawyer. If you watch the movie, you got to watch the movie. I'm not going to spoil it, but
I'm gonna watch it.
So if there's somebody,
Just Mercy.
Yes. So if there's somebody that may have the power to do so, to help, yeah, like I said, there's going to be those people that say, "Oh, she's only doing it just for some clout," or she's
clout, exactly. So that's what.
But at the same time, if it's really helping, because it has been helping, where others haven't been able to do so.
Absolutely, right. I agree. And another thing that's coming up is the fact that, for instance, painting Black Lives Matter on streets and getting rid of statues and whatnot. All of that is happening, right?
Yeah.
But the killer for Breonna Taylor, they've not been arrested.
Arrested yet.
You know, so a lot of people are saying there's a lot going on, you know, that, you know, even businesses, large businesses are coming out saying, we're with you, the Black Lives Matter movement, they're donating funds and whatnot. However, you know, in terms of the laws, they're not being changed. Why do you think that is? And what do you think needs to happen besides the protesting? Because the protests have been going on and, you know, all we're seeing are Black Lives Matter.
I mean,
So,
one, just let me say, I think it is, this is a part of history. I think it's beautiful and it's great with all the,
I think it is too.
the DC where it's the black light with the big black on the street. And I think there's one in Brooklyn as well. So I think that's great. But
Yeah.
you saw the video of one of the guys that was, from George Floyd, the officers were shopping in the supermarket and they got a video of that. I don't know if you saw that. And so people are like, yo, like, how are these? I'm just saying that to say it's like, that's how we're thinking. All right, we're doing all this.
Are you talking about the black guy, the mixed guy?
The mixed guy, yeah. He was in the
that him?
I think so.
I don't think it was. I didn't take that one seriously. Yeah, I didn't take that one seriously. But did you know he was partly Nigerian?
But here's the thing. So here comes, and I want to answer, because I want to answer this question, right?
Right.
You see how you said that? It's like, okay, is it more than just a white and black problem then?
You know?
Because look what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Just like with this thing, at the end of the day, we know that they killed Breonna Taylor, right? We know. But why? Like, why? Like, why? What are we missing? What don't we know? Because I don't get it. Because even with the George Floyd case, right? They're saying that the officer, and somebody, and you correct me if I'm wrong. They're saying that they said that the officer and George Floyd, they knew each other.
They worked at the same place, yeah.
And they so there's been beef there. There's been a lot. So it's like,
there's something we don't know.
There's things, because it doesn't, it's like, it's almost, it doesn't make sense. What do you mean?
Right.
How?
Right.
How are they getting away? But then again, too, it's so crazy. My mind just jumped to the, even to talk about the Amadou Diallo case.
Diallo.
Because I just saw, I saw a documentary, and 44 shots. Like, that was, I don't know, like, that was, and the man he has no criminal background, no nothing. How? What, like, so it's like, sometimes it's like a lot of this, I feel like there's things
that's missing.
That's missing. Not in regard, that was crazy. I don't understand. I could never, like, because I just don't, I can't fathom how.
Yeah. I'm honestly confused as to, what's next. Besides the protest, like, what's gonna happen?
I think at the same time, the protest needed to happen.
Of course.
But I just feel like and it's so crazy. You keep saying the next step, because that's what I've been saying too. I've been promoting. I'm saying, like, when we were actually promoting the Black Business Walk, right?
Right.
Those were my my captions. It's time for the next step. Like, it's time we really start getting to know who we are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's time we really build amongst each other, and we grow to be superior and great as we are.
Exactly.
All other cultures, and there's nothing wrong with that, as this beautiful world should be. As this world should be, we should be able to celebrate all races, all cultures. There should be no problem celebrating white people. There should be no problem celebrating Chinese people, celebrating Spanish people. At the end of the day, we're all black, right? But
Right.
just like this, there's no problem celebrating all those races. Just like we need to come to a point, there should be no problem celebrating black.
Right.
It should all just be in unison. Like that for
I
me,
agree.
that's the next, that's in my mind, like that's the next step for me. Like that's the next step of the vision I see for us as a people, and being able to spread our beauty amongst the whole world. That's
Absolutely.
because, and that's what, this is what, it was beautiful because of the protest. It was beautiful that the whole world was behind us, because I'm not gonna lie, at the same time, from the a lot of parts of the world, you see these people from New Zealand or whatever, they're doing these
In London.
in London for us.
Right.
So at the beginning, that protest, what happened was it began the celebration of us. But now moving forward, we need to talk about those, now that we're being celebrated, now that we're beginning to support our own, and we're beginning to support our businesses.
Right.
Let's continue that. Let's be consistent with that. Let's not let that, because once something else happens or whatever, we forget. Let's continue that. Let's continue what's going on right now in a more strategic way.
That's the word. That's the word. That's the word. Because oftentimes, we're upset and we go out there, march, protest, and whatnot, and there's really no agenda. Like, there's no goal. Like, what are we protesting for?
Yeah.
So, and that's why. Do you know about Reform? I believe who McMills.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's why, like, I've been following their page. So.
Yeah.
It's really good to see someone like him, who has been incarcerated, come out and want to give back, so it's really great. But let's talk a little bit about, what you do. Of course, you curate. Are you the founder, curator, and whatnot of Afrobeat Brunch? You have For the Culture. You have a couple of brands that you work with. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I got a couple of things. I mean, I don't know where you want to start. Afrobeat.
Wherever you want to start.
I mean, Afrobeat Brunch. Yeah, I'm the founder. I'm founder, curator. I just thought that I felt like with that event in particular, we needed something for Africans. And this goes back to even saying celebrating cultures, right? We celebrate Caribbean culture. We celebrate. We've celebrated Haitian culture. I mean, as far as even hip hop, right? As far as I'm talking going to events and stuff is concerned. Like, you can go to you can find a weekly urban party. That's like mainstream, that's dope. You can find a weekly Caribbean party, mainstream is dope. How many, like, can you, oftentimes, a dope, like, mainstream that everybody knows about. When I say I'm not saying there's not African parties. I'm saying a party that everybody knows about, that all cultures are coming to, they hear about, like, this is a main thing, you know what I'm saying? And I felt like, what, we needed that. And that's how Afrobeat Brunch, that's what the idea was. And future, it's, we thank God it's been doing just that. It's beautiful. It's been beautiful to see so many people come to Afrobeat Brunch, as far as even all the celebs and stuff that's come, but most importantly, all different people that's come to really help push Afrobeats. People, it's a joy for me when, it's a joy for me when the next day or somebody that's not African, they hit me and they're like, yo, man, what song was that? That song was so dope. Because what we're doing is we're spreading the culture now. Not every stuff like that. So that's one of the purposes. That's one of the true purposes of Afrobeat Brunch, and I'm happy about that.
Amazing. And I know you also have For the Culture brand.
Yes.
I think some of the proceeds go to your mom, a foundation that she created, correct?
Yes. So For the Culture is, it's my clothing brand, but it's not just clothing, it's apparel and merch as well. We also sell beautiful bags, like clutches for women. And we sell with like fans, and even we have that stuff for men too, like fanny packs and etc. But these products all come all the way from Kumasi, Ghana, which is where my mom lives, and that's where the school is. So that's where the inspiration of the brand even comes from, because it's called for the culture inspired by Adjoa Kunedu. It's not just for like, it's for the culture inspired by Adjoa Kunedu, because, and Adjoa Kunedu is my mom's name, so that's where the inspiration comes from. So like on all the, you know, if you have a shirt, if you really look, you notice it'll say inspired by Adjoa Kunedu.
Okay, amazing, amazing. So what message do you have for people out there, entrepreneurs, and also another message in terms of the pandemic?
As far as entrepreneur, it's not easy. It's tough. Team, everything you need, you know, you need a team. Like, and I kind of wanted to bring the team thing real quick, because I want to give me another shameless plug shout out. She's really, you know what I'm saying? Like, you need a team. You can't, yo, I'm telling you, even brands and people that look like, okay, like a Beyonce, right? It's her, but you don't know the team.
She's the face, yeah.
Face, but you don't know the juggernaut team that she got behind her. You know what I mean? Don't know. So, you know, and I feel as an entrepreneur, definitely have a good solid team, people around you that are just as motivated as you, have ideas. Don't give up. If you I always say this, don't give up, because I've been at this for a long time. You know what I'm saying? I didn't give up. It was tough, you know. But I'll say I wouldn't do anything else. Like, I wouldn't. You know, so as an entrepreneur, it's hard, it's rough, it's tough, but it's also an amazing thing to be able to have the free space in the ring to come up with something, come up with an idea, or have a vision, and to see it to fruition and to see it come to life. It's an amazing feeling.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
In terms of the pandemic and also police brutality, of course.
Hey, in terms of the pandemic, this might sound funny, but which pandemic are you talking about? Because I feel like we've gone through 2 pandemics. All right, we went from COVID to everybody forgetting about COVID for like for some time.
Right.
So, pandemic. One pandemic was taken over by another pandemic. So I feel like that's a broad. Where do you want to start? Which one? You know.
Let's start with COVID.
COVID. I mean, everybody stay safe. Everybody still, you know, rock those masks, okay? Everybody wear the mask. Let's distance and social. Let me see. Hold on. I'm trying to see how far Fumi is away. Let me distance. You know, everybody distance. You know, I can't take it anymore. If you want me to be honest with you, I'm ready to. But you know what? We gotta do what it do. Just follow those things. And adapt. You know, one of the things I've just been learning during this time too is just adapting, and it's been crazy. It's been I've been going. I remember in the beginning stages I was going crazy. I was like, why am I still in this house? Like, what is going on here? Like, I
saw some of your posts. I was just like, man,
on the go.
Crazy.
I'm going, but then after a while, you know what? You come into a certain zen, and you're just like, you know what? You learn how to adapt. I think this thing also has taught us to how do we adapt in certain times of, you know, because you never know what's going to happen. So I mean, I feel like as far as that is concerned, I think it's been as far as if I'm going to use myself as an example, it's just been, that's one of the things I've just been learning, like just adapting to the times and just doing new things or focusing on things that I wasn't as much focused on before. You know what I'm saying? Really seeing everything full scope.
Okay, amazing. All right, thank you so much. And how can people get in touch with you if they want to connect or maybe learn from you even?
Oh, I mean, you know me, like just my page, follow me. You can hit me up. I answer. I'm not one of those people. You DM me, I'm answering. Like I'm all about if it makes it if you're a type of person and people that know me, if it makes sense, and you know I know you're a good person or good, so like I just want to see all my people do good. Like, everybody, like it's a family, it's a unit. Like we're all trying to build together. That's what I'm about. So if you're about that, no problem. Like.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Of course, and please be safe.
Oh
Please
yeah,
make
yeah.
sure he's practicing social distancing.
Yo, management.
All
Yeah,
right, thank you guys. Bye.
thank you.